This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Before even watching a single episode, I knew I was going to like Yumeiro Patissiere. It's a mixture of some of my favorite things: implied romance, magical girl adjacent storytelling, and of course, dessert making. I mean, peak anime begins and ends here. But seriously, this series was so cute. From its life lessons taught in the form of sweets making, to its surprisingly touching character development. So I thought, how can I highlight this series on my channel? I found my answer once I came up on the episode that featured this dessert, the Baumkuchen. Hold on.
Baumkuchen.
Oh, I was right! The Baumkuchen. I could not tell you what it was. Tons of desserts had graced my screen at this point, but this tree trunk looking thing had my mouth watering. And its recipe looks simple enough. Why don't I knock it out and try it for a video? But there's a huge dilemma. One does not make a singular recipe from Yumeiro Patissiere. Not when they all have stories, reasons behind their plating, their recipe make, their appearance in the show in general. Okay, so I'll make 3 desserts. No. You're missing the big picture. Will that satisfy? Will you really only choose to make a handful when each dessert's difficulty level taunts you? When all of the information you need is available to you at the tips of your fingers, just a few clicks away? Will you really settle? Yeah, so I'm making all of them. Okay, but we really have to break down what that means. How many desserts even appear in the show? Well, a lot. You've got your cakes, your tarts, your puddings, etc. And multiple variations of each in the anime at that. So I've broken it up into the core 10 categories. The number 1 contender, Ichigo's strawberry tart. A no-brainer. This dessert is pretty much synonymous with the series itself. It also looks like the most difficult. After all, she doesn't truly master this until the last episode. But we got this. Possibly. Mille crêpes. There's a lot of French and German being spoken here today. This one left a strong first impression considering it's the first dessert Ichigo makes on her own. Choux crème or cream puffs were featured quite often, so of course those. Madeleines, they had a very sweet story in the show, as well as the donut holes. I could not stop thinking about the pudding in episode 9 because it seemed so easy yet so hard to make. Like, how are you both? Very curious. The honey soufflé is arguably the prettiest dessert here, in my opinion. Like, scientifically speaking. Like, just the way it rises, you know? Never mind, but we're making it. The First Love strawberry mousse featured in the first episode, made by Henri Sensei. We'll get to him. Of course, the mouth-watering dessert, the Baumkuchen, that has been calling my name. And lastly, we run into a problem, a cake problem, because there are so many cakes featured in the show. So many. And I'd love to try making all of them, but I am but one person. So as not to create waste, I will make one cake to represent the cake category. And the one that left the greatest impression on me is, without a doubt, the Rosewater pound cake. Previously, the only experience I've had with Rosewater is that facial mist spray that doesn't really do anything. I don't think I knew it was an edible substance until watching this show. So I'm really curious to try this. I hope I like it, and if I don't, I have an entire bottle of Rosewater as well as a jar of rose petal jam for the next several months to come. Speaking of, I need ingredients. There may be 10 desserts on this list, but unsurprisingly, many of them share the same ingredients. Luckily, I have many of these ingredients at home already, but it's 10 desserts. I'm gonna need some extras. Let's list them off. Strawberries, flour, granulated sugar, eggs, milk, unsalted butter, heavy whipping cream, vanilla extract, light cream, honey, powdered sugar, baking powder, cake flour, rose water, rose petal jam, cornstarch, cinnamon, corn flour, strawberry puree, condensed milk, gelatin powder, white chocolate melts, corn syrup, red gel food color, rhubarb, lemon juice, brown sugar. We've got our work cut out for us. I'm really surprised that Rosewater was actually easy to find, but the rose petal jam, I had to overnight her. I saw strawberry puree on one of the ingredients lists, and I was like, oh, if this is anything like last time, I'll just buy it in stores. You know, save time. Let me see how much it costs on average. I'll make that myself. Speaking of last time, I still have an entire box of gelatin packets left over. I knew you'd come in handy. I think the wildest thing on this list is the rhubarb. It's just not in season, so I'm substituting it with strawberries instead, like the recipe I'm following. Anyway, with every ingredient here now, there's nothing holding us back. Shall we start the challenge? Hello, welcome to my poorly lit kitchen. I've planned this to be 2 full days of all-out baking goodness. And if I can take anything away from my previous experience of making a complicated dessert, I think I'm 100% underestimating how long this will take. I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic. I've divided the sweets among both days. I have a contingency plan. I'm feeling like weirdly calm about the whole thing. Today, we're starting off by making the Mille crepes, the Madeleines, the honey soufflé, the choux crème, and the pudding. How is this going to turn out? Let's begin. Out of this whole list, this is the only thing that I've actually made before, albeit it was in middle school. But like, I've made crepes, I've made whipped cream, you know, I feel a bit good about this one. I will be using this as a hand towel. Look at it. Oh, so fitting. I actually think this is gonna be the easiest thing on the list, and maybe that's why Ichigo makes this first. I mean, she ends up burning a whole lot of them and getting yelled at by Kashino, and I just felt so bad for her. But then she meets Vanilla and she helps her practice, and Ichigo learns the value in practicing. Teaspoon. I mean, that's important for anything in life, really, but I like how it was applied here. Like, sure, she gets a fairy and magic is involved, but that's not what solves her problems or makes her a better patissiere. It's very thoughtful. I liked it. I already don't remember doing all of this in middle school. Ooh, I'm scared. Okay, this is the first one. Oh, it's very bubbly. The way this is not going, I can't get it up. I think maybe this wasn't enough batter. I'm screaming. I was kind of convinced this was gonna look perfect. Oh, it's hot. Oh, it's hot. Oh, it's hot. That was the first one. It's already behind us. It's already behind us. I feel like it's not oiled enough. Ah, and it tears. Ow, it's hot. Is my heat too high? Ow, how am I supposed to do this? The heat is on 3. Should I put it on low? This is making me look like the worst cook ever. It is good though. Now I feel like it's not hot enough. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Like, it should be solid. Yeah, like that's not enough heat. Oh my God! Something is not right and I don't know what it is. It could even be the pan itself. It could even be the pan itself. But like, I don't usually have issue with this pan. Essentially, using a bigger pan to see what happens. But here we go. Things are happening. Things are happening. Wait. Let's go. It's like, oh my God, I'm about to give up. Like, I'm about to move on to the next thing is what my brain was saying. Wait, oh my God, I'm so happy. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm literally about to rage quit is what I was thinking. Thank God. Our fallen soldiers. What a mess. I didn't want it to look like
like a triangle going upward. So I put a big piece on top. This does say to chill it in the refrigerator for 1 to 2 hours before slicing. Oh my god, it's so funny to me. I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator and let it chill. But while we're waiting, we will move on to the next one. The Madeleines were introduced as the first dessert the Sweets Princes made together. The Sweets Princes are 3 students at the top of their class, super handsome, in the same group, which is the group Ichigo ends up being thrown into with no prior testing for some reason. Like, where was the school guidance counselor? I like that the 3 of them have different flavors associated with their specialties and personalities. Matcha for Ando, roses for Hanabusa, and chocolate for Kashino. But I'm gonna play it safe. I think I'm just gonna do a simple, like, vanilla yellow cake flavor. I've never made these before, so I'm super nervous. And thank God for the Skillshare class I took on baking Madeleines that told me to make the batter the night before, or imagine how distraught I would be right now. Skillshare is the largest online community designed for creatives by creatives. They have literally thousands of classes taught by industry experts in tons of creative fields. Illustration, film, photography, animation, culinary. I was a little overwhelmed going into this project knowing I had so many desserts to make. But thanks to French Pastry Fundamentals by Choux Bando on Skillshare, I was able to learn such key tips on making some of these desserts and easily make the Madeleines as well as the honey soufflé from the show. Tell me that's not gorgeous. And like many of you guys, I love making art. I've always loved drawing growing up, but Procreate has been such a pain for me to learn over the last year. But with Skillshare, I can finally learn some of the fundamentals of digital art that I've been missing. So if nurturing your craft and making time to flex your creative muscles this year sounds interesting to you, check out some of the classes on Skillshare. The first 500 people to use the link in my description will receive a 1-month free trial. Special thank you to Skillshare.
Oh my gosh, I have so much more to make. I can't eat anymore.
My cat is awake now, so I feel like that has just really calmed me down, just having her here.
Hey, Mamas. This is Mama. Oh, no.
I know, you're so cute. There have been several crash-out worthy moments, but I've found a way to carry on, and we're down 3. So we have 7 more, but 2 more for today. The sun has gone down. This next dessert is another one I've not made before, so I'm shaking in my boots a bit. I took down the pigtails because they were hurting my head, and I think I'm gonna take the hat off too. Choux crème are featured many times throughout the series, but honestly, most notably in the eye catch that appears every episode with the fairies getting covered in the stuff. There was another variation of these that weren't filled with cream. I think it was just the pastry dough ball, and they put them all together to create a big tree of sorts. The croquembouche. That one stuck with me a lot, particularly because when Ichigo made it, her nasty classmates threw a banana peel on the floor so she'd slip on it and fall and drop the thing. Some of those kids were so mean to her. I mean, I know it's a middle school, but Lord. She's doing her very best. But what I didn't get was, if Ichigo's so lacking, so incompetent, then why do you all keep stealing her designs? Make that make sense. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Honestly, I was just enjoying a moment where nothing was happening. The last one of the day is the pudding. The pudding is super memorable to me because of how many mistakes were possible. You could overcook your caramelized sugar, making it too bitter. You could undercook it, making it too sweet. And then the custard, oh, the custard. Too thick, too rubbery, too much porosity. You could have the inside looking like SpongeBob if you're not careful. And sitting watching the episode, I thought it looked easy, but Ichigo struggled hard on this one. Mind you, I don't even like pudding. The only pudding I've ever liked growing up was the one with Oreo crumbles in it and gummy worms on top. a very refined palate. So we're really hoping for a miracle on this one. Do not know what to expect with this one. Good vibes, good vibes, good vibes.
Swirl for even browning for about 8 minutes. Oh!
It's changing color.
That looks real pretty.
Here is the situation right now. I've put the puddings into the deep pan. I will be putting these into the oven for 40 minutes. The pudding is out of the oven. It also needs to come to room temperature, so I don't think I'm gonna have it tonight. I think I'm gonna wait until tomorrow because it's already 10:07. We finished everything. Day one. It could have been worse. Going through the desserts, they came out tasting good. I think making the Madeleine dough yesterday really did help me out, but tomorrow is the real kicker because I'm trying to do this loosely in order of appearance in the anime, but pushing all of the later series desserts to day 2 means that they might end up being more difficult. I am fearing the strawberry tart like it has a bounty on my head. So let's get a good night's sleep and prepare for either a beautiful day or a sweet storm.
Good morning. Good morning. Mo is eating. Today is gonna be packed. Did half the desserts yesterday, doing half of them today. And this includes the Rosewater pound cake, the Baumkuchen, the donut holes, the strawberry mousse, and of course, the strawberry tart. I think I'm gonna do some things a little bit differently today. I think I'm gonna wait until the end to try everything so that I don't feel so sick by the end of it. We're getting started at a good time today. It's 8:37. I'm just feeling good. I'm feeling good today. Anyway, let's get started. The episodes this cake appears in are iconic. Learning Hanabusa's emotional backstory and why he fixates on roses so much added loads of depth to his character. I honestly love him so much. And then when he kissed Ichigo on the cheek as a thank you for all of her hard work towards protecting his dream. Cinema. But I also love the way that she brushed it off as a platonic greeting. She's just like me for real. Yesterday's recipes were pretty general, but the majority of the ones today are like very Yumeiro Patissiere specific, like especially this one. So I'm actually referencing another Yumeiro Patissiere fan's recipe, Nana Pastries. It's honestly thanks to their Instagram content that I even began watching Yumeiro Patissiere in the first place. So big shout out. It's time for the rose jam. Who else cheered? Oh, it smells nice. I like that. I want to taste it. That's really cool. That's interesting. Is that enough of a difference? Yay! Pretty, pretty, pretty. Next step for that is to put it into the rose water tray with like a mixture of sugar syrup and the rose water. It doesn't smell. It smells nice. This is baking for 25 minutes, so I think I'm gonna start on the next thing, the next batter, which is gonna be the Baumkuchen. Let's go. I'm excited for this one too. This one was fun. I liked doing this one. Ooh, this part is highly anticipated. Now, I've definitely been talking about how much I've been drooling over this dessert. It originates from Germany, obviously. Its name translates to tree cake or log cake. And there's basically an entire machine dedicated to making this specific dessert. And I don't have such a machine, and neither did Ichigo's dorm supervisor. So she used a method that involved cutting a rod of foil, foiling it up, and rolling the dough onto it, creating the rings this way. I thought that was so nifty. It's really just like a cylindrical pancake. I'm cooking up the last layer of this. Let's move on to the donut holes. Something very familiar. Ooh, I'm excited, but I can still smell the rose water in the air. I'm so excited to have that one. Haha, now this I've done before.
That was very satisfying. I feel like this one's a change of pace from the other recipes. You know donut holes, I know donut holes. I've never actually made them before, but I might as well have. These ones appear in the show when Ichigo's dad is super hesitant to let her go to France for the Grand Prix. Spoiler warning, I guess. But she makes these in order to convince him of her desire to bring a smile to everyone's faces, making the donut holes that he grew up on that his mother used to make, Ichigo's grandmother. And I just love how every dessert in this show has a story. They're not just thrown in there for the hell of it. It makes all of them feel worth remembering and dedicating time into making. Not to toot my own horn, but these look pretty dang good. Now I will fry these and put the cinnamon sugar on them as well. And we move right on to the strawberry mousse. Wow, it's 12:45. I'm pretty happy. This one doesn't involve any baking. Strawberry mousse, this is arguably the dessert that starts it all. Ichigo's journey is jump-started by the strawberry mousse that she eats, made by Henri Sensei. He recognizes her talent for tasting desserts. He recommends her to Sainte Marie Academy, and the rest is history. Gelatin powder, gelatin powder. I thought that the presence of Henri Sensei as this sort of untouchable officiary that Ichigo wants to impress once her skills have improved was sweet and a real driver for the story, but I disliked how he played with his students' emotions during the Grand Prix. Pretending to flirt with another student to teach Tenoji a lesson about staying on her game. I feel like surely there was another way this could have been done, you know, with a conversation. Then playing the bad guy to rile Ichigo up in the same way too. I don't like mind games. It was kind of icky. But alas, he's a pretty important figure with a pretty important dessert to make. I am excited to do this one. Finally, strawberry! Yay! I feel like the fact that I'm chill enough to be able to sit here and eat a salad speaks volumes towards how this day is going. Back to work. There's a template for me to copy, but I didn't download it, so I'm just gonna wing it. Honestly, it could be worse. You can tell that's a wing. You can tell that's a wing. Nine Yumeiro Patissiere desserts have been conquered. Just one left at the podium. Ichigo's strawberry tart. This is, of course, very special to Ichigo. It's the tart that her grandmother made for her that brought an everlasting smile to her face and inspired Ichigo to dream of making sweets that could have the same effect on other people. It's so sweet and sad to see how much of an impact Ichigo's late grandmother had on her, but it's also such a key concept within Yumeiro Patissiere. The memories and emotions that the sweets made by your loved ones can leave behind. Ichigo and her grandmother, Hanabusa and his late father, even minor characters like the chef with the orange tree in his backyard. Oh my god, that episode. Ugh. The show is so good, you guys. New comfort show, and I'm so serious. You know what else is serious? This recipe. There are a lot of steps involved, more than any dessert we've done so far. Dough needs to be chilled, strawberries need to be pureed. I have to put beans in a pan. I don't know, there's just a lot going on here. But you know what? We're all in this together, so let's get to work. Right now, I'm making the crème patissiere, which I need to be stirring constantly. I'm trying to like multitask. I've been multitasking all day. This is custard-like. Okay. Now get that bowl. I think the bigger challenge of this is really just like having enough dishes to do everything. It's strawberry compote time. Ichigo, she chose brown sugar over granulated sugar. Tart crust, 40 grams of unsalted butter at room temperature. I'm now making the crème frangipane. I just want you to know that after all of the butter I've used, this is how much I have left, and this is the last of the butter that I need. I literally had the exact amount of butter that I needed for all 10 of these desserts. I'm astounded. This is 40 grams. I thought I wouldn't notice a difference. It does smell very corny. Many things are being done at the same time right now. I'm finishing up the tart filling. I also have the glaze pretty much all set for the mousse. I have the crème patissiere here. That has been sitting for 3 hours now. Now, time for this. The tart is officially in the oven. The only thing left to do is make the whipped cream and also decorate the tart. So I think this is it. I think this is goodbye until I try everything, the final result. See you then. Oh my goodness. Honestly, the tart, not as difficult as I thought it was gonna be. These are the pudding cups from yesterday that I still, oh my goodness, there's stuff coming out that were pretty much, ooh, it did the thing. Oh, that looks cool. That looks really good, actually. I guess the first thing I can have is the pudding since I made that yesterday. Oh, I've never had Japanese pudding before. Oh, that's good. The caramelized sugar syrup is definitely doing a lot of work to help with the taste, but it's like even the base of it just is like really good. I don't see any pores. That's pretty solid. Oh, I like that. Don't worry, by the way, I'm not eating entire servings. This is really just a taste test. The first thing I made today, the Rosewater pound cake. It's not, I really wish that it rose or oh my God. I really wish that it was thicker than it came out. It's still marbled very nicely. I think the colors still look really cute. Okay. I'm trying to decide, because like, I like it, but it's one of those situations where I loved the way the rose water smelled, but like, to taste it is just, I don't know. Interesting. The second thing I made today was the Baumkuchen. This one I was raving about. I was so excited to make it. It does look like a little tree trunk with the rings. Let's see. I still had the taste of the rose water in my mouth. It was very hard to... Well, texture-wise, it's like a regular cake, but I can taste something about the separation of the whites and the yolks. I can taste the difference, and I don't know if I enjoy that. There's this taste that I recognize that it's like different. The texture is good though. It's very pancake. I'm not disappointed, but again, it's just like the making of the meringue and stuff. I don't know if I like how it tastes afterwards. The third thing I made today were the donut holes. I will confess that I actually did try a couple of these earlier. I was nervous that they weren't cooked fully. They are cooked fully, but I feel like they're a bit moist on the inside. Like, I feel like they could have used a couple more minutes. They taste really good though. The dough has like that element of salt to it, and then the cinnamon sugar. You're like, wow, what a combination. Cinnamon sugar, who came up with it? The fourth thing that I made. It's so pathetic. It's so sad. The glaze turned out very gelatinous, and I chose this one because it looked the cutest, and now it looks absolutely awful. Oh, I like that. There is a bit of texture, and I would say that it's like the strawberry seeds. Some of it wasn't as blended as it could have been, but also I ran into a little like problem where there were little gelatin bits that didn't melt completely, and I was just hoping that it would just blend in with everything. Yeah, these are gelatin bits. But the taste is good. The wing doesn't really add much in flavor. The mousse is really like the best part. It's actually pretty good. I know I'm trying not to finish anything, but this is really good. And the last and final thing that was made, and is, I was gonna say arguably, but it is. It's the best thing that I made today. It's the best thing that I made in general out of everything. The strawberry tart. I've never had a tart before. I'm really proud of how this came out. Hold on, let me take a picture. Oh. It's so cute. Okay. I'm just trying to process. This is a flavor like I've never had before. Not what I expected, but like in a good way. I guess the crème patissiere and all of those mixed together to create this dessert, it feels like I can taste each individual element and like the differences they made. Whereas if this were like an apple pie, like I know, yeah, like that tastes like an apple pie. This is something I've never recognized such a taste before. Wow. Even though the strawberry tart had more steps going on, I would still say that today, day 2, everything was so much easier. Way less mistakes and errors and problems. Let's get down to business. I think that my least favorite thing was the soufflé. It just came out beautifully. I was so happy that it rose. I didn't really enjoy the taste, and maybe it's because I did like honey and I didn't flavor it like with passion fruit like was shown in the video or with any other flavor. Maybe it was that, but just also texturally, I don't think I like it. I don't think I like that, but it wasn't bad. Number 9, I'll say it's the crepes. They didn't really have much going on. Whipped cream, strawberries, and crepes. There was no like stronger flavor. It was okay. Well, that would put number 8 as the choux crème, the cream puffs. They were okay. Number 7, the Baumkuchen. Like I said, it still tasted decent. It wasn't bad at all. Number 6, the Rosewater pound cake. This is a little disappointing with how low it ended up on the list. I'm still so confused by it. I can't decide what is going on here. Like, I'm so... Number 5, Madeleines. The Madeleines, they were really good. I think they even taste better on day 2. Number 4, the strawberry mousse. The only thing I went wrong with was the little gelatin pieces that didn't melt entirely, so there's a bit of a texture issue going on. But I like the creaminess of the mousse, and the wings are cute, or would be cute if you made them correctly. It reminds me a lot of the tourbillon cake. Number 3, the donut holes. I think the donut holes are really good. I only wish that I would have cooked them like a minute longer. I think that would have made a difference. I'm really happy with how they turned out. They're really tasty. Number 2, wow. Hold on, I need to try the tart again. I've made my decision, and it's like really close. Number 2 is the pudding. I would not have expected this to be the outcome, but it's really good, really rich. The texture is awesome. There's no pores. I got it right. You can't even tell me nothing. It looked so complicated in the show. Like Ichigo kept messing it up, and I was like, oh, well, that's about to be me. The pudding's not gonna turn out well. And it did. It turned out perfect, and it jiggles. I'm not even trying to do this because like, oh, is it like, oh, that's number 1 is your strawberry tart. Yeah, like that's how it is in the show and that's your number 1. It's really good. You can definitely tell like the corn flour makes a difference in the pie crust. The crème diplomat also really complements it nicely. Like it's just a really solid dessert, a really solid dish. I totally understand why it was like the winner, the main event, and the universe of Yumeiro Patissiere revolved around it because it's like a really solid and nice tasting and interesting dessert. It just looks so pretty. Like I could cry. I can't believe I did that. I have been doing this today for 14 hours. This strawberry tart, it makes me want to cry. Not because of how it tastes, but like because of its importance in the show. All of a sudden I want to watch the show again.
By far, my biggest takeaway from this series is how nice it is to share the happiness of desserts you've made with other people. And I just made 10. You didn't think I was going to eat all of this on my own, did you? Well, I'm not. The most rewarding part is going to be giving these away to my loved ones, my family, my likely confused coworkers. Don't ask me why I brought so many foreign homemade desserts into the break room. Just roll with it. You know, life isn't always easy. Things are not always cut and dry. So if this is a way I can show my appreciation for those around me, then I just hope it's well received and that they like my cooking. This whole challenge was... It was hard. I will say it was hard. I probably would have done better if this wasn't pushed into 2 consecutive days or just given more than 2 days. So many of these were desserts I've never made before, so it was really exciting to like try something new and be able to relate to the characters in the show and what they went through as I was baking. I might not have made macarons. We're just gonna ignore that. But I think this was the best way to pay homage to such a cute, thoughtful, comforting, cozy show. I highly recommend Yumeiro Patissiere if you have not seen it. It's genuinely one of my favorite series now. Tell me what you think of Yumeiro Patissiere. Did you have a favorite dessert? Have you ever made any of the desserts from the show? Let me know, Yumeiro Patissiereans. And as always, thank you guys for being here, and until next time, I'll see you in my dreams. Bye, friend.